Another name. Oh,
useless. And furthermore, if you were any kind of a god, you'd be out working miracles for people instead of loafing around the palace all day.
Yes, Juno, my love.
You are the most completely worthless husband a goddess ever had. Why, you can't even turn off that rain so I can hang the washing out to dry.
But I'm out of practice, dear. Nobody has believed in me for thousands and thousands of years. I'm out of date.
And I'm out of patience. You could at least try to stop that storm.
Well, all right. I'll try. Maybe I've still got some of the old stuff left. Gloria, abracadabra! And gesundheit! See? Nothing happened.
Wait a minute. Look, Jupiter. It's stopping.
Well, what do you know about that? By golly, I hauled off and made a miracle after all.
Well, you ought to get busy and make some more. Just look at Earth down there. Full of people who could use a miracle or two to make life easier.
Sure, but you know how they are. Quarrelsome, ornery, always fighting, always arguing. It hardly seems worthwhile to make miracles for people like that.
Oh, I don't know. Now, take that man down there in the commuter's car. He looks as though he needs some help. Goodness, he's really feeling low, isn't
he? He certainly looks it. Let's tune in and find out what he's thinking about, huh?
Yes, let's.
What a day. Another one like this, and a man by the name of Thornton J. Poindexter will be ready for the booby hatch. That's me. Feet hurt, headaches. As far as I'm concerned, the whole human race can go hang. Let's see. I started the first thing this morning with that kid on his bicycle.
Hey, you, why don't you watch where you're going, you little imp? What are you doing right on the sidewalk anyway?
On your father's mustache. You don't own the sidewalk.
Why?
Yeah.
Fresh little brat, you ought to be spanked.
Yes, that was the way this day started. And I, Thornton J. Poindexter, was burned up even before I got to the newsstand at the corner.
The usual paper? Certainly. Here you are, 3 cents. I know the price. Here, take it out of this $5 bill. Did you got anything smaller? I can't change that. You can't? Why don't you keep some change on hand so you can do business properly? Take it easy, mister. It's pretty early in the morning. Never mind. I don't want any alibis. I'll buy my paper somewhere else. Hey, old crab.
Well, my day certainly was getting off to a bad start. And when I got to the station, some dope ahead of me was getting a commuter's ticket.
Look, how long are you going to hold everybody up, mister?
Just as long as it takes the lady to make out my commuter's ticket, chum.
Any objections?
You certainly picked a fine time for it. You're gonna make me miss my train.
Now, ain't that just too bad?
So I missed my train. That made me 10 minutes late at the office. And then to make matters worse, when I got in the elevator, a female monster loaded with parcels was jabbing me and pushing me around.
Fine thing, I don't have a busy elevator this hour of the morning with a bunch of junk.
I beg your pardon? Are you referring to me?
Your father's mustache.
Yes, that was one thing I learned from the kid on the bicycle. Anyhow, by the time I got to the office, late of course, I was fit to be tied. And of course, so was the boss. He gave me a look that would fry an egg. I ignored him and got by. But things didn't improve as the day went on. At lunch, for instance, I had a run-in with the waitress.
What do you have?
Well, I'll have the boiled beef.
We're out of boiled beef.
And I'll have the, Finn and Hattie.
We're out of Finn and Hattie, but,
Look, is this a restaurant or isn't it? Do you serve food here or don't you?
this is a restaurant, mister. We do serve food when we have it. But you can't come in this late on the lunch hour and expect to pick and choose.
Yap.
Now, if you want a ham sandwich or something.
I don't want to eat anything in this hash house.
Oh, my aching feet.
So I ended up eating a hamburger in a joint around the corner. What a day. What a day. Then to cap the climax, I had a date at my bank to talk over a loan I need in order to buy a new house. So on my lunch hour, I went to see the third assistant vice president. He was a cold fish, and I wasn't in a very good mood either, believe me.
How do you do, Mr. Poindexter? Sit down. Thanks. I've examined your application for a loan from the bank, and there are a few more facts we have to have.
What do you mean, facts?
Details, more data on your financial position, shall we say.
Well, I've had an account in this bank for 12 years. I've got a darn good credit rating, and you want more facts.
You don't have to get so excited about it, Poindexter. It's a matter of routine.
Routine? Oh, I suppose you'd like to know the color of my second cousin's eyes, or how often I get a haircut. What is this, a bank of the third degree?
On second thought, Poindexter, I believe we can dispense with the extra information. You'll hear from us in a few days, by mail. Goodbye, Poindexter. I can assure you your application for a loan will receive all of the attention it deserves.
Well, I knew then that I'd never get the loan, but it wasn't my fault. Everything had gone so wrong, I felt upset and unhappy, and now I'm dead tired, and I hate to go home and tell Mary about what happened at the bank.
There. If I ever saw one, he's a human who could use a miracle, Jupiter.
Why? Everything that's happened to him, he brought on himself. If he hadn't antagonized everybody the way he did, his day wouldn't have turned out nearly so bad.
Oh, true enough. Only he doesn't know that. Why don't you haul off and work some kind of a miracle that'll fix things up for him?
What kind of a miracle?
Oh, I don't know. Something simple like. I've got it.
Oh.
Why not let him relive his bad day? Only this time, show him how to treat other people better, so he'll get treated better.
Yeah. Might be interesting at that. Although, mind you, I don't think he'll act much differently. All humans are ornery.
Anyway, you can try.
Well, okay. Here goes. Poindexter. Oh, Poindexter. Poindexter.
What? Who's that?
This is Jupiter, Poindexter.
Jupiter? Jupiter who?
I beg your pardon, were you talking to me?
No, I'm talking to Jupiter.
That's right. I'm a god. Lots of people used to believe in me.
Oh, quit your kidding. I suppose you're up in the sky someplace.
That I am, son. That I am.
Nonsense.
What did you say?
Will you please stay out of this conversation, lady? I'm talking to Jupiter.
Oh. Jupiter. Oh, my goodness, I'm glad this is my stop.
Listen, Poindexter. How would you like to go through this bad day over again and have everything turn out all right?
How could I? The day's already gone.
And you wasted it because you forgot a few fundamentals on how to get along with people.
I did, such as...
Well, such as a soft answer turneth away wrath. You can catch more flies with sugar than vinegar. Kindness, like corn, increases by sowing.
It's all corn if you should ask me. Everyone I had trouble with today was ornery and mean. They didn't remember any of those old proverbs.
Well, they might have, son, if you had.
Yeah, what makes you think so?
Because, Poindexter, courtesy is contagious.
So is smallpox.
What can I do with somebody like that?
Stay with it. That Poindexter needs help.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Poindexter,
Yeah? What is it?
let me put it this way. Do you consider yourself a selfish man?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Well, then it's high time you started getting selfish, Poindexter. Looking out for your own happiness. You've got to get selfish, Poindexter. Wisely selfish.
Well, I don't get it. 1 minute you want me to be courteous, and the next minute you want me to be selfish. Now, how come?
Well, being courteous is being selfish. Because every time you go out of your way to be extra nice to someone, you're laying the groundwork for that someone to be extra nice to you. That means your life is going to be a lot more pleasant, a lot more profitable, and certainly a lot more fun. So you're really being selfish. You're putting something in the bank of human relations that's going to pay you fat dividends. See?
Yeah, if the bank doesn't fold.
Fold? Oh, but it can't, Poindexter. Because when the person you've been kind and courteous to pays you back, he's being selfish too. Because you're going to tax some interest on what he's invested. Nobody loses.
I don't know, it sounds too easy.
But it's not, Poindexter. Sometimes it's pretty hard to do unto others so they do right by you. Because courtesy isn't a tip of the hat, the warm hand clasp, or the big fat compliment.
All right, I'll stooge for you. What then is courtesy?
Well, it's something that comes from inside you, down deep. It's patience and understanding of somebody else's problems and troubles. It's being helpful and friendly to people because you like and understand people. It's saving the other guy's face in an argument so that you can save your own. It's selfishness, Poindexter. Wise selfishness that does you more good than the good you're doing.
That's so.
Sure. So why not take a whirl at it, old boy? I'll haul off and work a miracle for you that'll let you relive your tough day. Only this time, when you get tempted to get irritated at somebody, get smart. Get selfish instead. I'll give you a little reminder like this.
Say, that's kind of pretty.
Well, that'll remind you to get selfish. After you hear it, you're on your own. And we'll see what happens. Fair enough?
Well, I guess so.
Okay. Sit, transit, gloria, abracadabra, and gesundheit.
Now I've seen everything.
Hey, you, why don't you look where you're going? Why, you little...
Poindexter. You're starting out wrong. Get wise. Get selfish. Do yourself some good.
All right, Jupiter, that's right. Here you are, Sonny. Let me help you up. Did you hurt yourself?
No, sir. I'm sorry I almost ran into you. I'm late for school.
Well, we don't want that to happen, do we? Don't you think you'd make better time if you rode in the street?
Well, I guess you're right. Say, you're Mr. Poindexter that lives at 2085, aren't you?
Yeah, how'd you know?
Oh, I deliver your evening paper.
Say, would you do me a favor?
Well, sure I will.
Well, would you mind putting the paper under the front doormat instead of throwing it on the front porch? I know it'll be a little more trouble, but, see, I have a dog. As soon as he gets a hold of it and tears it up.
Sure I will, Mr. Poindexter. I'll do that. Glad to.
Well, thanks a lot. I'll see you around. Oh, and another thing. If that teacher of yours gets mad because you're late, why, you tell her the truth.
Yes, sir. Well, goodbye, Mr. Poindexter.
Goodbye, boy. There's a nice boy.
How do you feel, Poindexter?
Me? I feel good.
Sure you do. That kid had troubles enough of his own, but you didn't add to them. You sympathized. And in return, you got a little extra service from him.
Yes, I did. Say, maybe there's something in what you say.
Yes, but don't get too self-confident, Poindexter. Your day has only started. It'll get tougher for him as the day goes along.
Oh, not necessarily.
That newsstand dealer down there still looks crabby.
The usual paper?
Certainly.
There you are, 3 cents.
I know the price. By Jupiter, Fred, I'm in kind of a spot. I want my usual morning paper, but the smallest I have is a $5 bill, and I know you don't want to change that for a 3-cent purchase.
And I not only don't want to, I can't. Ain't got that much change. Too early in the morning.
Well, you don't have to be so... Never thought of that. See, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll run over to the all-night drugstore, and I'll get this changed, and then you'll have some silver to work with, huh?
You didn't know that, Mr. Poindexter. Here's your paper. You can pay me tomorrow.
Well, thanks.
And say, I'm sorry I was so crabby just now. I was up all night with the wife. She's sick.
So, what's the matter?
Rheumatism or lumbago or something. The docs can't seem to make up their minds.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Say, I know a doctor that's a whiz at that kind of stuff. Why, he cured me in a jiffy about a year ago. Better try him out. Here, I'll give you his name and address.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Poindexter.
There you are.
And say, remember a few months ago, you told me to get you a hometown newspaper, and I told you it wasn't worth the trouble, and you got mad?
Sure, I remember.
Well, that paper's going to be on his stand every morning, rain or shine.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. Thanks a lot, Fred.
He seems to be catching on, doesn't he? Don't strum that liar so hard this time and see what happens.
Well, I don't know. He won't want to miss that train again. And there's that same fellow buying a commuter's ticket. Look, how long...
My Jupiter. Pardon me. Are you getting a commuter's ticket?
Yeah. Why?
Well, I know from bitter experience that it takes the girl quite a while to fill one of those things out, and I wondered if you'd let me get a single ticket. It would keep me from missing my train.
Wait your turn like everybody else.
By Jupiter, that's right. I shouldn't try to barge in, should I? You don't know my boss. If I'm so much as 2 minutes late, he'll just give me the devil.
Yeah? You got that kind of boss too, huh?
And how?
Well, here, step in and get your ticket. I ain't in no hurry.
Oh, well, thanks. Thanks a lot. One to the city, please.
It's okay. I hope you punch that clock on time.
Oh, I will, and thanks to you. There's my train now. Thanks. I'll see you around.
Say, I didn't have to play very loud in that one, did I?
No, he's catching on. I told you he would. And he isn't going to be late for work. Isn't that nice?
Well, I don't know. Look, he's in the elevator getting jabbed just as he was before.
Fine thing, cut in elevators. By Jupiter. Those packages look a little heavy. Here, let me help you.
Why, thank you. They are pretty bulky.
Sort of hard getting around downtown during the early morning rush hour, isn't it?
It certainly is.
In fact, I wouldn't have tried it, but I promised to take all these packages down to the collecting agency for the Crippled Children's Hospital before 9 o'clock.
Oh, the Children's Hospital. I used to be on one of its committees. I've got a real interest in the work they do there. Tell me, how often do you break?
See? You only had to touch a few strings that time. Jupiter, our lad is really getting into stride fast.
Well, it seems as though. And look, he's even rating a big smile from his boss. Well, the day seems to be going all right.
Still, he has to face that waitress whose feet hurt. Tell you what, just pluck one string this time. He may be smart enough by now, so he won't need much of a reminder.
All right.
What do you have?
Well, I'll have the boiled beef.
We're out of boiled beef.
And I'll have Finn and Hattie.
We're out of Finn and Hattie, but,
Look, is this a restaurant or... My Jupiter. I didn't realize it was so late. You're probably sold out of everything, aren't you?
yes, sir, we are. We had a lot of business for lunch.
Well, what would you suggest? I'm pretty hungry.
Well, I'll tell you. It isn't on the luncheon menu, but I can get you a nice steak and French fries if you'd like it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now you're cooking.
Medium rare?
Medium well.
Say, you see that? I used only one string that time, and I got a mistake. I have to eat hash.
But you have to admit, I can work miracles with hash.
You know, I think Poindexter ought to be able to go it alone from here on out. Look, he's coming out of the bank now. Poindexter, how'd you make out this time?
Me fine. But I didn't hear your reminder.
Well, that's because I didn't give you any. Fact is, Poindexter, you're graduated. You're on your own now.
Well, that's okay by me. You know, I found out how to make that courtesy is contagious thing work.
Good, good. Pass the word along, too, will you? I can't be bothered to make miracles for everybody.
You bet I'll do that.
How do you feel now, Poindexter?
Well, I feel like $1 million. I gotta hurry back to the office. But I'll keep in touch with you, Jupiter, old boy. Goodbye.
Hello, Andy. Oh. You waiting for me?
You're darn right I am.
What's on your mind?
I got a gripe. I'm mad.
Yeah, what's the matter?
Plenty. It's that Joe Curtis's department. I had a fight with him this morning.
Yeah, how'd you make out?
Second best, doggone it.
What was the fight about?
Oh, the same old thing. Joe insists that I keep out-of-town billings separate from local ones. And he knows darn well that it takes twice as much time to do it that way than to do it my way. Boy, I told him off plenty.
You came out second best, huh?
Well, he's just bullheaded.
Andy, I had a funny experience today that taught me something. How I learned it, I won't tell you because you wouldn't believe me. But what I learned was very important to me, and easy and simple, and something perhaps you can use.
Oh? Well, what is it?
Well, you've got to be selfish in this wacky world of ours.
Selfish?
Yeah, but wisely selfish.
You better keep talking. Hasn't made sense to me so far.
Well, everybody runs into people and situations every day that just irritate like the dickens. And everybody's first instinct is to get mad and lash back so they can burn the other guy up. But it usually doesn't work out that way. You come out second best, just like you did.
Hey, wait a minute now. You're not preaching at me, are you?
Me? No. I'm just passing on something I learned the hard way by Jupiter. Anytime you get into one of these spots, just remember one thing and you'll come out first best. Be selfish by saying and doing the things that'll make your life more pleasant. Now, here's what I suggest you do. You go back in that next office and talk to Joe again.
Our lad is certainly saving you some work on miracles, isn't he?
He sure is. There. Andy has gone back into Joe's office, and Poindexter is doing a little eavesdropping. Let's do the same thing, huh?
Oh, goody. I like to eavesdrop.
And I suddenly realized, Joe, that if I don't build the out-of-town stuff separately, it means a lot more work for your department. So from here on out, you're going to get those billings just the way you want them.
Well, say, thanks, Andy. It'll be a big help. And by the way, I think I can show you how to do that billing the way we have to have it in a lot less time than the way you've been doing it. I guess I just haven't had a chance to tell you about it before. But if you want to spend 5 minutes right now...
Sure thing, Joe. Tell me about it.
It worked again, Jupiter.
Sure it worked, Poindexter. It always works. And it doesn't take a miracle to make it work either. You just showed Andy how to be wisely selfish.
I sure did. And he cashed in nicely, didn't he?
Naturally. Anyhow, you won't need us anymore. But be sure to keep passing the word along, Poindexter.
I certainly will, Jupe. Every chance I get. After all, I found out that people, all kinds of people, are always hungry for a little understanding and kindness and patience. When they get it, they feel better and they act better. And they give it back with interest. Isn't that it, Jupe?
That's it, son. That's it. Well, so long, Poindexter. So long, Jupiter. So long, Juno.
Second. Hold on. Whoa. Oh, that's funny. That was a drop and drag emergency. Drag and drop emergency. Hey, I'm Skip Elsheimer of AV Geeks. Welcome to our lunchtime screening. That was just By Jupiter, which was made by Wilding Productions, but made for Marshall Fields. Marshall Fields being a department store. And ultimately, trying to instill in their employees that courtesy counts, that it makes a big difference in how we all get along together and how we interact and, you know, the hidden benefits of it. I have practiced this and have done amazingly well. Not that that's what I'm doing, but a lot of times when I go to the post office, I have friends at the post office now, and at least once I was actually able, I didn't have enough money for the postage. For some reason, I didn't have enough change. And they were like, don't worry about it. We got it. I was like, that's awesome. So it does count for a lot. So there you go. And I'm sure you'll have plenty of examples where it doesn't work, but just in general, retail is the worst, so I try to help people out when I can, give them a break and calm. Anyways, so I collect old 16mm films and show them to folks like you, hopefully to teach us or for us to learn, or at least just giggle at, because some of them are just absurd. This next film is part of a series that was shown on Saturday morning television to offset all of the cartoons and advertising aimed at children. This was educational, and this certainly is. This is called Friends, and this would show kids in different parts of the United States and what it was like to live there, and all that. So this is Friends in Pennsylvania Dutch.
Hi, I'm Leanne Mock. Let's be friends. I live in Pennsylvania Dutch country. I live in the eastern part of the United States, in the state of Pennsylvania. I live in a historic village. This is the village square. Early settlers hid from Indian raids in the Indian Keller. This house was built hundreds of years ago from logs. And these houses get water from a system 200 years old. It's cold spring water. I live in Schaeferstown. Schaeferstown is located in southeastern Pennsylvania, in the Allegheny Hills. Most of our ancestors came here from Germany.
This is me, old Frankie.
These men are speaking Pennsylvania Deutsch, a kind of German. Originally, people here were called Pennsylvania Deutsch. Deutsch means German, not Dutch. German people came to Pennsylvania in the 18th century to find religious freedom. Some of these were called the Plain People. They live today as they did hundreds of years ago. Men wear black clothes. Women wear bonnets and long dresses. They drive horses and buggies instead of cars. Electric lights, telephones, radio and television are forbidden in their homes by religious beliefs. Others have different religious beliefs and lead more modern lives. German people also came to Pennsylvania to find land for farming. This is a plowing contest at the historic Schaeferstown Farm. Horses are also used for wagon rides. Auf einen Baumann Kuckuck, Simsalabim, Simsalabim, Simsalabim. Auf einen Baumann Kuckuck. Wagon rides are fun. Da kommt mein junger Jäger, Simsalabim, Simsalabim, Simsalabim. Da kommt mein junger Jägersmann.
Those are really great. They're a little snapshot, and I don't know if there's something similar nowadays. I think what kids absorb, there is no Saturday morning anymore, so they're watching all these different channels, Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, all these other things, so it's harder, it's all fragmented, and so I feel, hopefully, and now they're just watching TikTok, so I'm sure they're not getting these messages. I know what you're all feeling is you guys want to learn how to juggle. But before that, I just want to say I am enjoying some delicious coffee. Thank you, everybody who has donated to buy me a coffee. It's really great. It was very sweet, and thank you. And it helps get my heart going in the morning. Caffeine. Okay, juggling. Here we go. Juggling lesson. Enjoy.
Chocolate today?
No thanks, not today.
Hey, can you teach me how to do that?
Sure. Here, take a ball. First I'm going to give you the juggler's test. What you've got to do is throw that ball back and forth from hand to hand. If you can do that, you pass the test.
Like this?
No, not exactly. Let me show you. I'll do it with one ball, and then after I've done it, then you try it. You start with the ball out to the side. You scoop it under, throw from the center, and catch out to the side. Then you scoop it back under, throw from the center, and catch out to the side. So all your throws are from the center, and all your catches are on the outside. And the ball's making a figure 8 in the air. Let me draw you the figure 8, like this. Now, if you can do that, then you've passed the juggler's test. Give it a try. Okay, that's fine. You've passed the juggler's test. Pass them out. Pass them out. They all want to learn, too. Everybody gets a ball. Okay, now that everybody has a ball, we're going to take the juggler's test together. You start with the ball on the outside, and you scoop it up to a point just over your opposite shoulder. Let it fall into your hand. Then scoop it back the other way to a point just over this shoulder, and let it fall into your hand. And it looks like this. Okay, don't twist your wrist like that. You don't have to recoil your hand before you throw the ball. Just catch, scoop, toss, catch, scoop, toss. Oh, yeah, that's much better. That's real good. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me show you something here. You've got a little bit of a problem. Don't pop the ball from hand to hand, because then it only follows one path. What you want to do is catch it on the outside, scoop it with a U shape, catch it on the outside, scoop it with a U shape, like this. Oh, that's much better. We'll have you juggling in no time. Okay, now you're catching the ball with your palm down. You're clawing the ball, and that's wrong. Like this. That's wrong. Instead, catch it with your palm up. Like this. Not like this. Like this. And keep it small. Keep it in a small box in front of you. Okay, that's a lot better. That's real good. Okay, now hold on a second. Wait a minute. Now don't reach up so high for the ball. See, your hands are way up here and you're catching the ball way up over your head like this. Now bring your hands down and catch the ball down around here. Gravity will take care of it. It'll bring it all the way down to your hand. Scoop, throw, just like that. Okay, let's see you do it. Okay, that's good. Fine, you got it. You're all doing really well with your figure 8s. In fact, you've all passed the juggler's test. Now it's time to move on to the next step, and you're going to need 2 more balls each. Take one ball and put it on the heel of each hand, so that you're holding it with your little finger and your ring finger, like this. Then make a peace symbol with your other 2 fingers and stick your thumb out. And do the same thing on your other hand, so that you're holding a ball in one nest. Then have that ball go from nest to nest, from fingertips to fingertips. Only one ball moves. Okay, everybody try it. One ball from fingertips to fingertips. Now, we're not juggling yet. This is just a warm-up exercise to teach you how to begin and end the juggling routine. Now it's time to start exchanging the balls. Take 2 balls and put them in your dominant hand. That's the hand that you write with. Hold them up in the air. The ball on your fingertips is number 1. That's the first ball you're going to throw. Now, over in your other hand, you have a ball. Roll it forward to your fingertips. That's ball number 2. That's the second ball you're going to throw. Now, you're going to throw number 1 with the same scooping underhand throw that you used before. When it gets to the top, you're going to throw number 2 up underneath it. It looks like this. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, everybody give it a try.
1, 2. Wow, this is really neat. I didn't think I could do it. I did it.
1. This is great. I can do it.
2.
Okay, now, hold on a second. Don't throw both balls at the same time, like this. 1, 2. 1, 2. Slow down and pause between each throw. 1, 2. 1, 2.
Oh, I see the pattern.
Good. Oh, hold on a second. You got a problem. You're handing the ball across. Don't hand a ball across. 1, 2, like this. 1, 2. Instead, throw every ball. 1, 2. 1, 2. Never hand the ball across.
1, 2. All right.
Yeah, go on. You got it. You got it.
1, 2.
That's good. Now, don't do it over the top like that. Don't throw the balls over the top. 1, 2. Throw them underhand with a nice scooping underhand throw. 1, 2. 1, 2. Remember, you've got to throw underhand, not overhand. Okay, give it a try. Yeah, you're going to get it. Keep working on it. You, hey, stop. Stop right there. Now, you're shoveling the ball. You're shoveling it in towards you like this. Now, don't pull it in towards you. Instead, work in a side-to-side direction like that. Don't go out this way. Go that way, like this, side to side. Remember the figure eights? They went from side to side. Okay, now give it a try. That's right. Now, stand up. Get up straight. That's fine. Okay, it's time to throw in the third ball. You can do it, don't worry. When number 1 got to the top, you threw number 2 up underneath it. Now when number 2 gets to the top, you throw ball number 3. In order to throw ball number 3, you're going to have to let it roll forward to your fingertips. Watch me. 1, 2, 3, stop. You end up with 2 balls in your opposite hand. Just transfer one back and start again. 1, 2, 3, stop. Transfer it back and start again. Now one more thing. Count out loud to yourself as you do it. It'll help a lot. Every time you hear a number, throw a ball. 1, 2, 3, stop.
2, 3.
You try it. Come on. You can do it.
Third ball.
1, 2, 3. You mean that's all there is to it? I can do this. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, very good. Now you're ready for number 4. Just count to 4, and every time you say a number, throw a ball. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're ready too.
1, 2, 3. I did it! I can juggle!
Everybody's ready. Now you're going to learn how to throw ball number 4. Ball number 4 is just ball number 1 coming around again. So watch the red ball. It's number 1, and it's also number 4. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, stop. You end up right where you started from, with the red ball on your fingertips. Give it a try. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can just keep going. Now don't think about it, just do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try it again. Stop juggling back there. Hey, stop juggling. I'm going to give you all a graduation speech. Now, I want you to know that you're real good jugglers. Everybody learned today, and I'm proud of you. You did a great job. There are a couple of things I want to tell you. One is, don't throw the ball quite so high up in the air with your mouth open. like that. Instead, let the ball come down nice and low. And another thing is, as you're juggling, don't let the ball get away from you, running around like that. You don't need to do that. Stay in one place. Juggle in one place. Another thing, and this is most important, go out and teach other people how to juggle. It's a lot of fun. You found that out today. Let everybody else know what fun it is. Okay, juggle!
Sorry, there was a mime in there. I know how you guys feel about mimes. It was a mime I didn't really know how to juggle initially. That's something. But yeah, that's such a great thing, and it's online now, so you can practice at home, and maybe you can learn how to juggle in your spare time. Let me just say, Thomas Talbot, thank you so much for your very, very generous gift. Phenomenal surprise. Thank you. It's very, very kind. And we will spend it on coffee, but we will also spend it on some other things. So thank you. Next film is a Sid Davis film. Sid Davis, as we remember, was based in Santa Monica, and kind of made his own films. He kind of learned how to do it and just kind of kept making these films about dangerous strangers. This one is made for teenagers. It's called Name Unknown. And so here's some definite Sid Davis things that you'll see. One is there won't be really any sync sound. It'll all be narration by one guy. There will be headlines, printed headlines that kind of say what's going on. And there will be people in peril, and there will probably be people that end up dead. So there you go. Name Unknown.
Just another case, I suppose you'd call it. As judge of the juvenile court, I've handled hundreds. Funny, though, the way you can never get used to them. Take Edie Adams here. She tried to prove she had nerve, ran off with a stranger who promised to marry her. Well, he robbed a building and loan office. The police picked him up, and here she is in my chambers, a delinquent. Delinquent in good sense. I can't get over it sometimes, how teenagers can be such suckers. Do you know what a sucker really is? Ask any carnival pitchman. The sucker is the guy who thinks he's smart, that he's putting something over on you. Take the old shell game. The sucker never wins. Why? Because the pea is really a ball of wax. It's never under the shell. It's under the operator's fingernail. All right, what's that got to do with you? You never fell for the shell game. Don't fool yourselves. A lot of you have fallen for it, thrown away a future like nothing in the history of the world. For what? A kick? Or a fling? A thrill? You think you're smart enough to get away with it, but you're just being a sucker. What I call being delinquent in good sense. Like these two, parked on a lonely road, just looking for trouble. And trouble is there, all right. If you look hard enough, you can always find it, especially if you're the sharp one, the guy or gal who doesn't have to listen to your parents' good sense or follow the rules, because you're smart enough to beat the game and take care of yourself. That's what this couple thought. Did you read about the case in the newspapers? They found out how it feels to be a sucker. Too late to do any good, but they found out. What they didn't know was that men like this make a practice of lurking in lonely lovers' lanes to prey on young people who don't know any better than to be there. Sometimes the victims are lucky. They lose only money or their jewelry, but not this time. These two were fortunate to get out with their lives, and that's an experience they'll never forget. Just one case, and there are hundreds more in my files. All normal, average kids who saw their lives ruined in a few hours, or even in minutes. Let's take a look at another one. Mary Hansen. There's nothing wrong with babysitting in itself. It gives parents freedom, it gives you a chance to make some money, and learn how to handle small children. That's true so long as you and your parents know the people. But Mary put an ad in a newspaper for sitting jobs. But the idea of going to a strange home with someone you never saw before just because he answered an ad, well, it's plain idiotic. You wouldn't go away with a stranger for any other reason, and just because it's under the guise of babysitting doesn't make it all right. But this time, even Mary's mother is fooled. You see, he gave her a phone number where she could reach her daughter anytime. An hour and a half past time, and Mary isn't home yet. About time to call that number he left you, isn't it, Mrs. Hansen? You think it's silly to worry, don't you? After all, what could happen to Mary on a babysitting job? But the woman who answers the phone has no family. She never even heard of the man, or of Mary Hansen. No, she has no idea where the man got this number. And now, Mrs. Hansen, it is time to worry. But I'm afraid it's too late to do any good after letting your daughter drive away with a stranger. Another headline. This one was just last week. It's in my files. You can read about it. Now, let's take another example. Ethel Ryan's case, one of the nicest girls in her school. Like a lot of juniors and seniors, Ethel's friend Lynn thought they were too sophisticated for boys of their own age. They wanted somebody more glamorous. And the two in the convertible were just what they had in mind. To me, it would seem that the fact they'd never seen either of them before should make a difference. Well, it does to Lynn, but Ethel talks her into it. It's daytime, Ethel says, and aren't they grown up and smart enough to handle any situation? Well, why not? Lynn agrees finally. Both of them got home safely. And they're really in luck, Lynn tells her mother. She and Ethel met two of the nicest boys, and they're going out with them tonight. Who are they, and where did they meet them, Mrs. Coe asks. Well, Lynn explains, they don't know their names yet. She and Ethel missed their bus, and... You mean they picked you up, and you don't even know them? Well, her daughter is certainly not going out with strangers. She may be old-fashioned, she tells her daughter, but that's final. So Ethel gets the bad news. Len's mother says no. Well, it's tough. But Ethel certainly isn't going to give up a good time, even if she has to go alone. Len wishes she had a mother like Ethel's, one who never forbids her daughter anything. See you later, Ethel says. Maybe. Well, I wish that were all there was to it. One girl out on a date, the other disgusted at staying home. But life is not quite that simple. When one breaks the rules, we pay for it. Walt soon decides that without Lynn, three's a crowd, so Tom leaves them alone. Now Ethel is really on her own. I suppose just about here the horse laughs are starting in the audience. All right, go ahead and laugh. Of course, Ethel isn't laughing. She can almost hear all the warnings she never listened to about being picked up by strangers. And here's something really funny. Go ahead, have a good laugh. Like Mr. and Mrs. Ryan and Ethel herself. And I can tell you about hundreds of cases. I hope you're beginning to get the idea. Mr. and Mrs. Adams are, and Edie, too. She's going to a detention home for 3 months. Plenty of time to think about whether a few minutes of showing off or feeling sharp is worth a lifetime of regrets. If you're willing to risk that, you're not the young American men and women I think you are. Think it over. Why not get really wise, really hip? Don't be a sucker.
So there's a delay from when I'm monitoring it to when I realize, oh, the film's over. Oh, poor Edie Adams. Not the same Edie Adams that was married to Ernie Kovacs. This is a younger Edie Adams, but certainly Sid Davis knew who Edie Adams was. So I don't know if what he's trying to say with that. But so many of Sid Davis's films are like this, where some young person makes a mistake, and then you see kind of the consequences of what happens, and sometimes they just get away with, just being scared. Sometimes it's more devastating, and he just applied that over and over and over again, and it's quite something. He has done some films that are more thoughtful and deal with emotional aspects of teenagers and things like that. But this is really what he did. So this next film uses the 1964 New York World's Fair as a backdrop to talk about the importance, talking about furs to housewives, and to talk about, and I think this is Sears kind of sponsored this, but it's a kinescope. So it was shot on video with a video camera, probably shown live, and then they had a movie camera aimed at a monitor, and so then they shot it on film and then distributed it on film. So here's Fashion and Furs.
As you may know, There aren't many people in the world whose jobs I envy, but my guest here at the New York World's Fair is an exception. She's Lillian Jaffe of Sears, and she has a job I'd love to have. She buys furs. Right, Lillian?
Yes, I do, Fran.
Lillian Jaffe is the fur buyer for Sears Roebuck and Company, and as such, she buys more furs each year than anyone in the USA and maybe even in the world. Now tell me, Lillian, why is it that every woman has to have a mink?
Men feel that their wives should own a mink because it means that they have arrived. Women like to own a mink because it's very flattering. The colors are luxurious, and the fur itself is so soft and luxurious looking.
Well, you think every woman should have a mink?
Yes, I do. I think that there's a color, size, and price for every woman. We have two models. Marcia is wearing a pastel mink suit stole, short front, with a cowl neck, which is so flattering to most women.
And Judy is wearing
an azurine cape stole with a different shaped cowl neck, a very luxurious stole for a glamorous woman.
Well, each one is just beautiful. You have our mouths fairly watering, Lillian. Why don't you tell us just how one should go about shopping for a mink?
Know your store. You must buy a fur, which is actually a blind article from a store that you have confidence in. As far as the fur is concerned, the density of the fur and the clearness of color and the workmanship is a very important factor.
Well, how do you choose style, Lillian? Because fashion cycles do change.
They don't seem to turn or change as fast as they do in other fashions. A woman might buy a stole 1 year, and 10 years later, it's still in fashion, and she loves it equally as much.
Well, what about colors? How should one select colors?
Skin tone is a very important thing. A woman must try colors on to get the one that brings this wonderful glow to her skin and a brightness in her eyes. We have some models with the different colors that there are in minks. Marcia is wearing a ranch mink coat, full-length coat, which is very glamorous, and Judy is wearing a tourmaline stolero, which doubles for a little bolero and a stole.
Mm-hmm.
It can be worn for many occasions over almost everything. Marcia now is wearing a pastel 32-inch coat, which is the trend this year. Has a little shawl collar, and the back is shirred with turn-back cuff. And Judy is wearing a cerulean bolero with a new neckline. These furs can be seen are the most glamorous, I think, that we have in our stores.
Well, they truly are beautiful. Another thing I wondered about, Lillian, are furs ever out of season? It's perfectly all right to wear furs, say, in the heart of summer?
Actually, a stole can be worn 12 months out of the year. During the summer, with air conditioning, women feel they should have something over their shoulders when they walk into an air-conditioned room. And during the winter, the automobiles are heated, so therefore it's a wonderful investment.
What is your opinion about a young girl wearing furs?
Teenagers should never wear minks. We have two models with foxes which are ideal for teenagers. Marcia's wearing a shrug with a very interesting back treatment, whereas Judy is wearing a cape which is for the more sophisticated young girl. Only women of voting age should think mink.
You said before that a fine fur was really an investment. How do you protect that investment? How should one take care of furs?
Cleaning a fur once a year is a must. Rain does not hurt a fur. All you do is shake it, hang it up, Allow it to dry before putting it away. Never put a fur near heat. It dries the skins. Never crush a fur in your closet because furs must breathe. Never put a fur in a bag.
Well, this has been most interesting, Lillian, and we thank you for coming and for showing us some of these beautiful, beautiful fashions.
Thank you, Fran. If any of your viewers are interested in knowing more about furs, we would be glad to pass them on.
Thank you very much. Our guest has been Lillian Jaffe, the fur buyer for Sears Roebuck and Company. And if you wish further information from Lillian about furs, drop a postcard to Fur, that's F-U-R, your information, Post Office Box 449, New York 23, New York.
So we're not talking about the ethics of fur, but there is a culture of fur, and that's what I think what's interesting about this film, and the concept that teenage girls should not wear mink. And I often think about, watching sitcoms and watching movies from the 40s and 50s, the inferring that a woman got a mink coat because she probably had sex with somebody. And then is that related to the teens not wearing mink? Because then you have this assumption about them. I don't know. I'm reminded, like in high school, the Beads. Supposedly there was this really vicious rumor that a girl who had Beads meant that she made out or had sex a certain number of times based on the number of beads that she had. And that's, of course, weird superstition, etc. Anyways, so it's interesting. So, fashion furs. I think it's really kind of interesting, the cultural in what the film says about the culture of furs in 1964. This next film, speaking of fur, this is a safety film for kids on how to handle animals and how to interact with animals, and which I think is a really good topic. You teach kids how to deal with animals that they encounter in the wild, or how you deal with animals that are domesticated. And I think the spirit of this film is very good, but it is one of the most reckless films I have ever seen with kids and animals. I mean, it is outrageous. And I'm wondering if the filmmaker just had his kids do it, like interact with animals, and then they just filmed it and then edited it around it and did narration around it. But there is some outrageous behavior in this film. So this is Safety with Animals.
Learning to be around animals safely opens the door to much that is fun and rewarding. If we understand an animal, we aren't afraid of it. Knowledge and skill are the keys to safety around animals. To get a close look at a wild bird or animal is a rare experience. Few wild animals, such as foxes, are dangerous unless we try to touch or to catch them. Only occasional wild animals will try to hurt anyone if not cornered. Sometimes an owl will attack anything it sees moving, and with big owls, it is best to watch quietly and from a distance. Bears, even young cubs that look so cute, may bite and claw just out of meanness. So do some raccoons.
And they also may carry diseases. So do squirrels and other wild rodents. Many sicknesses can come from handling them. In fact, the only rodents safe to handle are those that have been bred and raised for pets or for laboratory work. A few wild animals are poisonous. This scorpion has a poison sac near a stinger in his tail. This is a very close view of a poisonous spider, the black widow, with the characteristic marking on the underside of the body. This snake is poisonous. 4 types of poisonous snakes are found in North America. And this is a poisonous lizard, a Gila monster. Yet, if you know them, most kinds of wild lizards are safe to handle and make into pets. Experts say reptiles are the only wild animals you can take young and raise and keep safely. Reptiles are not often disease carriers, and they don't turn mean suddenly when they mature, as most wild mammals do. Some snakes are safe to handle and make into pets, if you know how to approach them, how to pick them up, and how to hold them. With these few exceptions, wild animals are best enjoyed by watching, not handling. Just as with wild animals, when around strange domestic animals, it is wise to watch from a safe distance. Most accidents happen when you startle or try to handle animals you don't know. Horses can be dangerous. They can step on you, or bite you, or kick you. Yet, those who know how to handle horses can be around these big animals without being hurt. For those who don't know how to handle them, it is best to be cautious. This horse is gentle and accustomed to children, but for some reason, he doesn't like this boy's petting. Watch how he tries to get the boy to stop. The boy doesn't understand what the horse is trying to do. Pulling on the reins and trying to get the horse's head down to be petted is a form of teasing. And teasing animals often leads to accidents. For teasing excites an animal, and excited animals are dangerous. Persons who know how to handle a horse well can do all sorts of things without bothering it. Anyone skilled in handling an animal can usually do it quietly and gently, helping keep the animal calm. As a beginner around animals, this boy has one advantage. He is not afraid. This helps, for fear excites animals. Good riders aren't afraid, and they know just what their horses are doing. When around animals, it is good to watch them so as to know when trouble begins. This dog wants food, not petting. If the boy were to turn away now, the dog would leave. There would be no trouble if the boy watched and understood what the dog is doing. Good riders even know which foot is leading on their horses. Not watching and understanding can lead to trouble, and trouble usually grows. Either dog could knock the boy down by jumping up on him. To know what an animal will do, you must watch it. Watch its eyes and its movements. These are better clues than sounds it makes. It is much harder to calm an animal that is excited than to keep it from getting excited in the first place. This is true of cats. This one is calm and lets the boy approach. It seems to tolerate being petted, and particularly enjoys being scratched behind its ears. Many animals like this. The boy and cat seem to be making friends. But when the boy begins to pull at the cat's paw, see what happens. Teasing excites an animal, and many animals, if teased, will fight back. Exciting animals by teasing them can make many of them dangerous, even a puppy. When this boy tries to hold the puppy and grabs its skin, the puppy begins to get excited. It becomes angry and fights back. Once angry, the puppy strikes out even at the girl who hasn't teased it, as if to say, "Don't you bother me too." When the boy slaps the puppy, it turns on him again. Without meaning to, the boy has started a big fight with the puppy. Once an animal is excited, it's hard to manage. Teasing animals almost always makes them excited and angry, and a large, excited animal is not safe to be near. Yes, even an excited puppy can be dangerous. To know what you can do with animals, you need to think about them. You need to watch them and understand why they do what they do. This pony and her colt are very active. Why? The pony is nervous, trying to protect her colt. Most animal mothers are easily excited. To try to get close to her, you must be very quiet, make no sudden movements, and try to get the pony to understand you won't harm her or her baby. Slowly, as she becomes less and less afraid, she lets the boy come very close. This is a good beginning in learning to handle animals. Handling strange dogs is much the same. Don't approach the dog. Wait. Soon, if the dog comes near, he will feel at ease with you and let you pet him. Let animals make friends with you is a good rule. Parrots and similar birds are beautiful, and they can be taught many things. But their beaks are too strong, their claws too powerful, and their moods too unpredictable to be handled by children. Their owners can usually tell the mood the bird is in and know what can be done safely. But for most of us, birds, such as parrots, should be enjoyed much as wild animals are, by watching them rather than handling them. To handle animals that have been trained, most of us must be taught. This pony can be ridden, but the boy doesn't know the commands, nor the pony's habits, and the pony doesn't want to let him get in the saddle. Unless you know what the animal expects, few trained animals will work for you at all. This boy is even going to try to get on from the wrong side. And this will make many ponies and horses buck. To learn even simple things about working a trained animal, most persons must be taught. You must learn what each horse is accustomed to, how it likes to be held and touched. Gradually, as the horse comes to know you, how your hands feel, how you move, it feels at ease with you around. It may even let you touch its legs or feet without being bothered. And as a horse comes to like a person, even a young child can be taught to ride. The horse will follow the commands of the boy because the boy has been taught how to use the reins. He is also learning to ride safely, being taught to sit in the saddle and hold with his knees and to keep alert and watch where the horse is going so as not to be hit by branches. Most of this the boy has to be taught. As he learns it, he is finding some of the fun of being able to handle a big animal safely and well. As you come to know wild animals by sight, and know beyond question whether a snake is poisonous or not, and are sure how to handle the few wild animals it is safe to handle, and feel content to enjoy the others by watching them, if only in a zoo, if you know which domestic animals you should not try to handle, and as you learn to let strange animals make friends with you, you come to respect animals, and at the same time to feel a strong bond with them. You aren't afraid, for you understand them. And if you have been taught to handle a trained animal, he will understand you and may follow your commands. This is fun and exciting. To be safe around animals is to know them, to judge what you can do with them, and to be skillful in doing it. Having a big dog willing to take your commands is one good test of your skill with animals. And of course, a companion such as this dog can help you in many ways. He can even protect you, can't he?
Wow. Every time I watch it, I'm looking for certain cues of, because I know when things go wrong. And I have to think that his parents are the people that are actually filming him, the little boy who's on his own in a field and ponies are surrounding him. Really something else. And even the information about, oh, you find a snake out in the wild, yes, you can take it home, because most snakes are safe. What a horrible idea. Absolutely horrible idea. And I nearly lost this part of my pinky from an iguana pet. Well, it was actually a foster iguana. I used to have quite a few iguanas. And a foster iguana was quite irritated. My girlfriend at the time was holding the iguana, and I was dabbing baby oil on its back to help it shed. And it turned around and just went out and just clamped down on my pinky, the little pad here, and would not relinquish. And so we got the iguana to open its jaws, and I was still not able to pull my pinky out because there was a flap of skin. It was quite horrible. So I am very wary of the information relayed in this film. All right. I just wanted to say we're going to watch a little cartoon, a series of cartoons actually made by kids, which are pretty great. But I wanted to say thank you to Elias for donating some coffee, although it is, for him, I'm going to buy beer because he is a local beer aficionado and also longtime friend to the archivists. And so I will use his donation to buy some beer from a local place. And thank you, Ray, as well, for your donation. You guys are awesome. And, I mean, you guys are awesome in general, even when you're not donating money to AV Geeks and to us. You guys are awesome for watching and hanging out and spending time with us. So thank you for that. So this is Bag 5, and I feel like this was made by the Yellow Ball Workshop, which was I remember seeing books by them at the library when I was a kid. And they were workshops that were set up to teach kids about filmmaking and about animation. So here's Bag 5.
Billy and the Pirates by Arthur Goldberg. Pirates! Pirates! Man your battle stations! Quick! Quick! Watch out!
That's Steven. Ever since he's lost his ball, he's been sitting up there in his room sulking.
Did you hear that noise? I'm sure I heard it. Or did you hear anything?
No, I didn't. Henrietta, you've been hearing things. I just can't find my ball. I wish I knew where it could be. Yippee! I found it!
Came all the way from the city in a bus, and I don't see any country animals.
You've won too many card games. I'm gonna kill you.
You wouldn't dare.
I saw you kill him. It's my other duty to kill you.
Really great. It tickles my brain because I used to think about making cartoons like that, animated cartoons, and had several failed attempts. I don't think I had the attention span to do it, but I definitely had, my parents had a home movie camera. We never had a tripod, which I think if you don't have a tripod, you cannot do stop motion animation, really. It just does not work. But really just love that film. It just brings back all these memories in my head because these are things that led to Skip being an AV geek. There were summer animation and summer filmmaking courses at our local library in Albemarle, North Carolina, which is rural North Carolina, but those were the saving grace. Those are things that I did and tickle my brain and kind of made me ultimately to collect over 27,000 16 millimeter films. All that is a long, long path to Skip being an AV geek. And so thank you so much for joining us today. If you're on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, like and subscribe, however that works. If you're on other platforms, I don't know, Twitch, I think you can follow, and Periscope, somehow, I don't know. It's all the social medias. So so newish to me, even though I've been on Facebook for more than 10 years. It always changes. Thanks everybody who donated to buy me coffee or beer or other things of support. Your support just by showing up and chiming in and spending some time with me is really great. That's what keeps me going. But the money doesn't hurt. it does not hurt. It goes towards purchasing more films and paying for shelving and doing all the tedious stuff. So thank you so much. And we will see you again tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Everybody have a good rest of the day. And remember in By Jupiter at the beginning, a little bit of kindness, it helps. It's a social lubricant. Kind of gets things going. If you just recognize that the person behind the counter is actually a person and they're not having the best day, it just helps. So just remember that. Love you guys. Take care. See you tomorrow.